Hey guys, welcome to this video tutorial. In this episode, I'm going to be going over why we're studying OCaml. In addition, I apologize in my previous videos. The video has been getting cut off, so my full screen has not been displaying. Hopefully it hasn't been an issue. You may have noticed that where I use my mouse and where I actually click is a little different, but I do voice over every action that I do, so hopefully you guys follow with that. If not, leave some comments in the section. Leave some comments in the comment section below. So let's just jump right into it. It's going to be a very short video. So when we're approaching OCaml, there's two types of programming languages. There's imperative programming languages, which you've probably used before. Chances are OCaml isn't your first programming language, and if it is, it's totally fine. Imperative programming languages deal with objects. It's very object-oriented. So everything is an object. Again, it takes a pretty good understanding of computer science as a whole to understand what the statement means. We're not going to get to that statement right now, but you know, for example, in Java or C++, you could have a car object, and that car object might have different attributes like speed, and it could also have different functions related to it. So there's a lot of ambiguity in terms of that, especially when you consider, okay, you have a car object, but what does that mean? What does that evaluate to? The computer's really kind of making everything not that clear to someone who doesn't really understand programming. You're approaching it, and really, what does a car object boil down to? In addition, it's command driven. If you're in Java, C++, and just some examples, many more, you're spending a lot of your time doing commands. Set car speed equal this, print that to the screen. A lot of the programming language is commands. So what is this? How does this mean in terms of a function? Well, or functional programming rather. Functional programming is about everything being an expression and it being evaluated. So we'll soon see what this means in future videos. I'm not trying to explain it because you're just going to get confused without seeing how the code works. But everything in functional programming is boiled down to a value. And when everything is boiled down to a value, then it makes things much more efficient for the computer. It doesn't have to understand what in the world a car even means, a car object. Everything's boiled down to a specific value. Functional programming has support for recursion and pattern matching, more so than imperative programming. We're going to get to these topics, and you're going to see the beauty of them compared to when you have to implement them in something like Java. So these are different ways of looking at programming languages, but the ultimate goal of functional programming is to offer new ways to problem solve. If you're in the industry, if you're learning, if you're trying to do interview questions, an object-oriented way of solving problems, but there's going to be problems not only in interviews but in real life that functional programming is your better tool to use. So hopefully we'll highlight those problems and go through them, but functional programming is just a new way to consider programming. And if you're entering the field, or if you're already in the field, having a functional programming background is a beneficial thing for really anything that you're doing in programming. So why OCaml? There's many functional programming languages out there. First of all, OCaml is pretty applicable. There are many firms using OCaml. The biggest one is Jane Street. They're a Wall Street financial tech firm. They use OCaml to execute all their trades and all that. So OCaml is used in Wall Street and many other companies. There's lists of them online. You can look them up. It's supported. There's many libraries. We'll get to what a library is, but there's a lot of independent developers out there making new features and really capabilities for OCaml. I mean, there's going to be software where you can edit, OCaml, and then there's going to be unique software for OCaml that allows you to transform that into a graphical user interface. So there's a lot of OCaml on the scene in the developing world. OCaml is unique in that it also has support for imperative operations like objects. We'll get to these later on, but we're going to start off with functional. And it's one of the most efficient functional programming languages thanks to the diverse community that's really trying to make OCaml work. So with that, that's kind of why we're studying OCaml. In our next video, we'll actually start going with it. Thank you very much, guys.